let's talk about the free agent. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions getting better without even having to use the draft. What did you see when you saw this list, Maz? What jumped out at you at Tim's list?
The first name on this list was number 5 for me, Chauncey Gardner Johnson.
That's your guy.
That's my guy. I love him. There's a lot of people that are loving Tremaine Edmonds from Buffalo, the linebacker as well. We need a linebacker. You need someone. I want Bobby Wagner myself,
right.
So I'm holding out for Bobby Wagner. But I want Chauncey Gardner Johnson on this team. I think he rules that secondary. I think he will make those boys into men on there. I just love his attitude. I just like it. He's coming off a Super Bowl loss even. You know how much you can come here. What is that, Bray? When you get a guy that played on a championship team that went from New Orleans, who weren't doing anything this year. They decided, all right, we'll give this guy a lifeline. They send him to Philadelphia, and he goes to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they lose, but he gets paid. He comes here, and he's got a nice young nucleus in that Lions secondary to coach up. Are they listening to him?
Yeah, I think they will listen to him. I mean, you're talking about 2 guys, and the 3 guys on this list that I really love is Tremaine Edmonds out of Buffalo, linebacker. We'll talk about him. Chauncey Gardner Johnson, who you love to death. I love him as well. And then Jeremont Jones out of Denver. He's another interior defensive lineman. Going back to your question about Chauncey Gardner Johnson, you take him to Philly out of the Saints, and you put him around other Bulls, other Lions. I mean, that's what happens when you put really good players around other good players. It's like it rubs off, and you guys are like Lions and Tigers, and you guys are out there trying to get the win, man. You see, even a guy like Brandon Graham, who's actually maybe available, look at what it does to him when you put all these guys around him. When you bring in a Robert Quinn, when you bring in an Ndamukong Suh, when you bring in a Chauncey Gardner Washington, the DB. I can't think of the DB's name right now. There you go. James Bradbury. When you bring those guys in, even Brandon Graham had the best year he's ever had in the NFL. Yeah. And this is year 11 for BG. This is year 11. But great players make players play better. And I think you bring Chauncey Gardner Johnson in, and you're talking about a guy that just was in the Super Bowl. You're talking about a guy that's been in 2 places that had really good defenses, by the way. So he's bringing in the energy that they already have, that dog energy, but he's bringing it at a high level, at a high impact level. So
you see that wide receiver he's got on there? Alan Lazard.
I'm ignoring that. Like
I like Alan.
I'm not an Alan Lazard fan. I think the way in which the game is going, I don't see him as a wide receiver for this team. But I mean, we can get into it. We're going to commercial right now, and we'll come back and talk about it because I definitely want to dive in here. I've never been an Alan Lazard fan. Like I just have.
I think he's all right.
Yeah, like I'm not going after an all right guy because I think there's some guys in the draft, to be honest, that you can go after that are not in the first round. Matter of fact, I'll save that and bring that when we come back.